You're saying the Earth is flat?
I'm not saying the Earth's flat.
You just said the Earth is flat.
I said I'm entertaining the idea that the Earth's flat. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain an idea without accepting it. Aristotle?
Aristotle lived in a geocentric universe.
That's what I'm saying. Look, I got ahead of myself. I jumped in at level 7. Never start a conversation at level 7. That's the type of shit that can get you locked up. With conspiracy theory, there are different levels.
Walk me through it.
Level 1 is like you realize that everything you hear in the news and the mainstream media may not actually be true.
Okay, I think most people know that.
Actually, most people don't. Despite continued breaches of trust, most people still think the news is the news.
So you're saying the news isn't true?
Sometimes yes. Both the JFK assassination and Building 7 collapse were reported before they happened. But that's level 3 stuff. What I'm saying here is that news is a product of directing focus.
Like on a camera.
Exactly. We live in a world of autofocus. And yet, ironically, auto means self, and autofocus means we don't do it for ourselves. The first level of conspiracy theory is that one needs to realize they need to control their own focus, not have it focused for them.
So, news is a diversion.
At level 1, yes. At level 3, it can become informative. But basically, if I hear about, say, a burglary, I feel scared. If I hear about a lotto winner, I feel happy. You show me sports highlights and I feel athletic. None of these things translate into my reality. That's autofocus.
Alright, I get it. So what's level 2?
Level 2 is that you realize that not just the news and the mainstream media, but all magazines, advertisements, infomercials, billboards, basically anything manufactured on a large scale is designed to make you feel inadequate. This level is still fairly basic. It's appeared in dozens of films. A ways back, They Live, and more recently, say, like a Fight Club.
Yeah, but I get that. I mean, I don't keep up with the Kardashians.
Neither do I. Level 1 is that you realize there's a lot of misdirection. Level 2, you realize there's a lot of manipulation. Level 3, you begin to look into the sources of level 1 and 2. That is, you figure out who controls the monopolies. Your Koch brothers, your Rockefellers, your Rothschilds, your private campaign donors, bribe politicians, your advertising companies, and the unconscious desires they exploit to make you feel inferior.
How does that change things?
Well, at this point, you begin to be able to point the finger. And a lot of people get caught up and never even pass level 3. They just get pissed off, they love to blog, they type in all caps, and their friends stop bringing them around because they won't stop talking about lizard people, genetic manipulation, shapeshifters, and the secret cabal and their demonic sacrifices. Their gods are your Alex Jones and your David Icks, shill pundits that look to channel others' anger and attract more level 3 recruits who identify with this line of reasoning. If you've ever met a level 3er before at a party, they probably got pissed if you disagreed with them and said something to the tune of, "You just don't understand."
Sounds like you at 16.
Touché. I was storming around the house, screaming that television was mind control and commercials were making people insane. Meanwhile, my family was wondering the same thing about me. Yeah, but I progressed.
To level 4?
Yes, to level 4. Now, full disclosure, I'm kind of wheeling it from here. I know where it goes generally, but at this stage, it gets a little harder to chart.
Humor me new.
Level 4 is when you realize who you can point the finger at, but also understand that submersing yourself in the field of their work only changes you, not them. You understand the meaning of the phrase, you play with fire and you get burned. So from this realization, you once again begin to work on your focus. You apply a level 1 strategy at a higher stage. You saw some bullshit, you called it bullshit, you found the bullshitters, now you aren't interested in bullshitters. Now you're interested in soothsayers.
Soothsayers?
Truth speakers. In the olden days, they were called prophets. Now they're anywhere and everywhere. They're Tom, Dick, or Harry. They're the guy at the newsstand. They're your barber. They're on the bus. They know things and share what they know if you show you are ready to hear it.
Written on the subway walls.
Precisely. And this is why I said level 4 is different. You begin what Joseph Campbell called the hero's journey. You look for the people, the places, the experiences you need to find in order to find out what you need to know. In short, you take the first step out of the cave.
The cave?
Plato's allegory of the cave? Oh, Jesus. YouTube it. Orson Welles does a great narration. Suffice it to say, You're on your way. You're no longer caught up in cock-a-doodle-doo. You are now looking for real stuff.
Wait, are you saying those bad people aren't actually bad?
Not at all. But karma is its own curse and blessing. We need to free ourselves first. That's priority uno.
Alright, so what's level 5?
Level 5 is where things really kick into gear. You're with it, you keep a positive attitude, you know where you're going and you're headed towards it. You might even realize you already have it. You tap in with Abraham Hicks or Eckhart Tolle or Baba Ram Dass. You hear the right words and a switch flips. Maybe you return to the roots of your original religion. Whatever the case, you realize though it's not 100% because you're still updating your software, that you have some small amount of influence in the trajectory of your life and you begin to wield it. Others ask you, what's your secret? You still have major ups and downs, but generally you give in, let go, let God. The river flows, wu wei, whatever. However you put it, you're in it. It's happening. And you feel like it's happening.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I feel like I've had glimpses of that before. So what about people like Tony Robbins, Oprah Winfrey, Jim Carrey?
Yeah, they're like the elementary school teachers of this path.
Then where does it go from there?
Well, that's where it gets trippy-er. Level 6 in the wake of your level 5 education comes with it an onslaught of synchronicities, coincidences, dreams, improbable results, what were once called miracles. You experience deja vu, sleep far too little or far too much. You may make and lose friends daily. You suddenly feel empty like the cavern of the universe. You spontaneously feel full like a pot bubbling over. You experience what in the DSM-5 would probably be considered mild forms of psychosis, bipolar disorder, savantism, and even schizophrenia.
You're saying you go crazy.
No, not at all. I'm saying mild symptoms of what could be misconstrued as the above-mentioned disorders may appear amidst the gestation process. Though you'll have spiritual mechanisms to filter and cope and control the multifaceted experiences of reality. And you also show up for the first time, in a sense, during this process. You are streaming, diving into numbers, dates, ages, names, signs, colors, languages, pathways. Everything is becoming, in a sense, fitted, like an utterly American baseball cap.
I'm afraid to ask of level 7.
Oh, that's funny, because you would be if you were not there. Level 7 is a lack of fear. One rises into a state of total surrender or control, depending on what side of the bed you woke up on that morning. You see the pattern. You can also tell the forest from the trees and name the trees in the forest. You are unfettered. You are an inspiration. You are a joy and a treat to be around. You're a light unto the world. This is the stuff that prophecy is made of. You can, at level 7, spell out the symptoms and causes of dis-ease. You see through the pharmaceutical companies, the destroyers of the rainforest, the military-industrial complex, the inculcations of mass religions, the jailers of the human mind. You see all of it. But this time around, you don't want to pump the fist and point the finger. You are on a higher curve of the ascending spiral. So you begin to look for solutions that make these problems obsolete. And this is where you become very dangerous to the keepers of the status quo.
You mean like flat earthers?
Yes, flat earth relocates the center of gravity of modern thought. The earth may be flat. Yes, I did just suggest that. But truly, it can only be flat if you are willing to see it that way.
So, Copernicus, Kepler, Newton, you're saying these guys are wrong? It's not a heliocentric universe?
I'm saying consider they were all wrong. You know they were all 33rd degree Masons. And it's been well proven those clubs go to great lengths to pull the wool over our eyes.
Okay, wait. How is the Earth flat?
Well, it could be a disinformation campaign, or it could be the greatest lie ever perpetrated. The most incendiary conspiracy to ever grace the face of God's green earth. Consider this. Copernicus didn't publish the revolutions until his deathbed, and he had etched into his gravestone the following in Latin: I do not elect the favor which thou hast given to Paul, nor the grace with which thou forgavest Peter. Only the clemency which thou hast shown to the thief on the cross, I beseech thee to grant me.
Interesting.
Plus, the sea is flat, planes fly straight, nobody can go to Antarctica, and the only proof that we have that the Earth is a ball is pictures from space. And if you look into that, it seems to all be fake CGI.
So, You're saying NASA's a glorified production company? Why?
To remove God from the center of the universe, to make us tiny, insignificant, evolved specks of germs crawling in an infinite sea of chaos and impending doom. But most importantly, if you get someone to believe they live in a world in which they don't, then you own their reality.
Wizard of Oz style.
Precisely. But I'm not trying to convince you of any of this. That's a level 3 disorder.
You said there are 9 levels of conspiracy. What are the last 2?
At level 8, the infinite world of potential is at our fingertips. Indeed, it is in our fingertips. You are everything and everything is you. And this is not just Buddhist mumbo jumbo or some new agey mantra. This is felt deep in the gut of your soul. It is known. And from here you speak words to living people. And this is what the prophet meant when he said, if you had the faith of a mustard seed, you could move mountains, where 2 or more are gathered, and the kingdom is within. You orate, and ontology descends into catalysts. The world quickens to fulfill your vision. And you know that all the pain in this world is because of how we all are, and in some sense, how you are, and you feel responsible for it inside. And you identify with that responsibility, and you sympathize for yourself inside. And from this sympathy toward the pain, you begin to experience unbridled compassion, to love your neighbor.
The golden rule.
Well, if you know anything about schoolyard bullies, when you stop being bothered by them, they stop hurting you. And this is what happens. This is how it ends. My brother always picked on me because I got so riled up. If I didn't get so riled up, he'd get no enjoyment out of picking on me and stop. The same applies to the evolution of humanity. At the 8th level, the world appears as it does to Neo in the Matrix, part of my pop culture. But it is all ones and zeros. You're not pissed. It's all balanced because you realize it is a program. And you realize it is divine in its construction. And you want nothing else other than to be a deliberate reflection of this driving telos. That is to say, its purpose.
Level 9?
The 9th level of illumination is only reached when we have all arrived there. And the earth rises into a mode of being that it has always been in, but which we were sent away from, and will once again return to. We literally become a new world, as if it was already here. That's that New Jerusalem, the Crystal City, after the 7th trumpet has sounded.
The end game.
Jordan fades back.
Whoa.